Lesson 3 Running Out of Water Part 4では、いよいよ最後です。3の順の皆さん頑張っていきましょう。We know we are on a collision course between the demands of increasing population and dwindling water sources. Can we human beings handle this collision? An island country shows us some possible answers. So, there is a demand because the population is increasing. On the other hand, there is the other demand. We should dwindle water sources. The water source is limited, so we should save the amount of water we use. So the demand is increasing, and there is a collision course. So we should find the answer to handle this collision. We may be able to find one answer by taking a look at an island country, which is the Singapore. The Singapore is a country of over 5 million people living with a growing economy. But while its people are relatively affluent, the country has always been water poor. In order to provide 40% of its water supply, Singapore has no choice but to import water from Malaysia. It is heavily dependent on its neighbor. So the nation started considering the possibilities of reusing wastewater in the 1970s, well ahead of most other water utilities or municipal governments. Currently, there are 4 water reclamation plants in Singapore. They recycle its solar water to produce water for high-tech industries and drinking water. The purified solar water is called New Water. In 2012, new water met 30% of Singapore's total water demand. Most of the high-grade reclaimed water was used for industrial applications, and a small percentage was supplied to consumers as tap water. By 2060, new water is projected to meet 50% of Singapore's future water demand. So, this is Singapore. Singapore has more than 5 million people, and that economy is growing. And the people are relatively affluent, but the Singapore has always been water poor. So, for the 40% of its water supply, Singapore had to import water from Malaysia. The 40% of its water supply. So, Singapore, the nation, started to consider the possibilities of reusing wastewater in the 1970s. That is well ahead of most other water utilities or municipal governments. So now, there are 4 water reclamation plants in Singapore. They recycle its solar water gasoline to produce water for high-tech industries and even drinking water. That purified solar water is called New Water. And in 2012, the new water met 30% of Singapore's total water demand. And in 2060, the new water is going to meet 50% of Singapore's future water demand. That new water is used as industrial applications or even some tap water. In 2060, it's going to be 50%. Besides recycling wastewater, another approach, increasing water supply by making saline water into fresh water, will also be a critical component of the solution to water shortages. 97% of the world's water is salty. New lower-cost desalination plants could expand freshwater supplies for coastal population centers. Large-scale desalination plants using the new, more economical technology have been built in Singapore and in the US. Solving the water problem will not be easy, but we can succeed if we view water as a precious resource and use it more wisely than we are doing now. Our environment is needed to make sure there is enough water for future generations. So, we should make saline water to be fresh water. Actually, the water, the saline water is 97%. 97% of the water is salty. And there are some desalination plants. For example, this is in Dubai. They are very lower cost, they are very large scale, and they are very economical. So, large scale desalination plants are using the new and more economical technology. They are built in Singapore and in the US. So for the conclusion, solving the water problem is not so easy and will not so be easy, but we can succeed if we view water as a precious resource and we should use it more wisely than we are using now. Why? Because it is for the future generations. We should make sure there is enough water for them. これでレッスン3すべて終わりました。ご苦労さんでした。